Metro Exodus offers an experience that skillfully combines survival and FPS elements set in a post-apocalyptic Russia. After a nuclear disaster, after a struggle for survival in underground subways, this time you have to explore a vast and dangerous world. Survival elements such as hunger, radiation, and harsh weather conditions require you to be on your guard at all times. FPS mechanics come into play as you overcome the dangers of this world with intense combat. You can customize your weapons and make strategic moves with limited ammunition. Metro Exodus offers an in-depth experience with its story while blending the struggle for survival with FPS action, constantly keeping you on the edge. Each encounter is critical to survival and contains a new threat at every step. Rust combines survival and FPS mechanics, offering players the challenge of living in a brutal and competitive world. While you start with just a stone and a torch, you have to survive both against other players and environmental threats. Survival challenges such as hunger, thirst, and radiation require you to be constantly careful. FPS elements play a decisive role in intense conflicts and raids with other players. You must both defend and protect your resources with weapons, traps, and handmade equipment. Rust offers a dynamic and dangerous survival experience where you must constantly be on the alert under the threat of other players. At any moment, you can form an alliance or be attacked, making the game both exciting and strategic. Sons of the Forest offers an intense experience that combines both survival and FPS elements in a fearful atmosphere. While stranded on a deserted island, you must collect resources, build shelter, and fight against cruel nature and dangerous creatures to survive. The game's survival elements require managing hunger, thirst, and mental health. FPS mechanics come to the fore, especially when defending against hostile creatures. Your weapons and handmade equipment are vital for both attack and defense. Sons of the Forest offers a tense FPS survival experience that challenges your limits both psychologically and physically. You must constantly be alert and think strategically to cope with the dangers you will encounter on the island. Seven Days to Die is a challenging game set in a post-apocalyptic world that combines survival and FPS mechanics. In a zombie-infested environment, you must gather resources, build a base, and develop defensive strategies. While survival elements require coping with challenges such as hunger, thirst, and disease, FPS features gain importance when fighting against zombie hordes. Weapons, traps, and handmade equipment are critical to defending you both during the day and especially at night. The massive wave of zombies that arrives every 7 days tests both your reflexes and your strategic skills. 7 Days to Die combines survival with FPS action, offering an experience that keeps you on your toes as you fight for your life in a post-apocalyptic world. SCUM offers an FPS experience that takes survival to the next level. As part of a deadly reality show on a vast open-world island, you must constantly be on the lookout for your surroundings and other players as you try to survive. The game's in-depth survival mechanics require you to manage hunger, thirst, diseases, and body functions. FPS elements add excitement to this struggle for survival. You try to defeat your enemies with weapons, traps, and handmade equipment. SCUM combines survival challenges with FPS action, offering an experience that keeps you under constant pressure. Strategic thinking and quick reflexes are essential to survive both against other players and against the harsh conditions of nature. Escape from Tarkov invites players to a challenging experience that tests both survival and FPS skills in a brutal war zone. To survive in the ruins of Tarkov, you must constantly be on the alert, loot resources, and engage in deadly clashes with other players. The survival elements of the game require coping with challenges such as hunger, thirst, and injuries, while the FPS mechanics put you face-to-face with death at any moment. Realistic weapon use, ammo management, and strategic thinking are the keys to survival. Escape from Tarkov offers an intense FPS survival experience, where every mistake is costly and every victory is satisfying. A powerful inventory system and complex tactics make this game one of the most challenging in the genre. Stalker 2 combines survival and FPS experiences in an extraordinary atmosphere. You must survive in the dangerous and radioactive zones of Chernobyl while battling both supernatural threats and hostile humans. The game blends survival elements such as hunger, radiation poisoning, and resource scarcity with intense first-person combat. While weapon use and ammunition management are critical to survival, you must make every bullet count. Strategic thinking and quick reflexes are required while facing challenging enemies and terrifying mutants. Stalker 2 offers an in-depth FPS survival experience that tests you both physically and psychologically. Facing the dangers of Chernobyl, you fight for survival in a world where every moment is of the essence. Green Hell is a perfect blend of survival and FPS elements, set deep in the Amazon rainforest. Dangerous predators, poisonous plants, and harsh weather conditions make survival increasingly difficult. With a first-person perspective, you must instantly recognize the dangers around you and respond quickly. Weapons and crafted equipment are critical for defending against the wild and hunting. However, limited ammunition and resources mean that every bullet is precious. Green Hell is an FPS survival game that tests not only your physical, but also your mental survival skills. Surviving in these jungles requires quick reflexes and careful planning. Subnautica and its sequel, Subnautica Below Zero, bring players together in the depths of the underwater world with both survival and FPS experiences. Both games combine FPS mechanics with survival, with vast and dangerous oceans to explore. In the first game, you have to protect yourself from dangerous creatures underwater by using both your weapons and handmade tools while trying to survive in the wreckage of a spaceship. In the sequel, you try to survive in the cold and dark waters of the deep sea in a more challenging environment covered with ice. FPS elements require you to be alert while confronting creatures and gathering resources. The Subnautica series offers an impressive FPS survival experience that allows you to explore the dangers of the deep sea and constantly fight for survival. The Long Dark is a challenging FPS experience that brings you the fight for survival from a first-person perspective. In the frozen wilderness of Canada, you must be on your guard at all times as you face the harsh conditions of nature. The elements that make survival difficult, such as cold, hunger, and wild animals, make every moment of the game full of tension. Weapon use is critical for hunting and defense, but limited bullets require strategic thinking. The Long Dark offers an impressive FPS survival experience where you must use both your environment and your ammunition wisely to survive. Alien Isolation offers a tense experience that brings survival horror to life from an FPS perspective. While stranded on a space station, you are faced with a xenomorph determined to hunt you. In order to survive, you must be alert at all times, use your resources carefully, and move silently. FPS elements leave you facing a constant sense of danger as you try to defeat your enemies with limited ammunition. Using weapons is often a last resort, as it is almost impossible to defeat the xenomorph directly. Alien Isolation combines both survival challenges and FPS action, offering a breathtaking horror experience. Fear and the struggle for survival maximize the tension at every step.